Hey there Twisters, and welcome to a very special series. So last year I ranked my favorite NHL jerseys of all time, and I did this in a March Madness style tournament bracket. Now I'm going to do that again this year, only our subject now is the most ugly NHL jerseys of all time. So I wanted to have some fun with this. I've had this brewing in my brain for a long time, and so we're going to take this video and announce all the nominees, or 64 jerseys, for this series. Now, I'm going to be putting these out individually. We'll do kind of individual sections of the bracket. Yeah, kind of like how Neil and Jason and crew did on Post to Post there. I liked how they did that, so I decided I'd follow a similar format. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the red subscribe button down below and the notifications bell. That way you know when I'm going live with videos like this. So, here are my criteria for this series, okay? So I'm going to choose at least one jersey from every NHL franchise, except for Vegas because they only have 2 jerseys and they look great. And that can include defunct teams as well, or teams that relocated to other areas. I'm only picking dark jerseys. I'm not picking any white jerseys. Well, Cortana, come on. I mean, I have to be somewhat fair here and consistent. Well, so I'm only picking dark jerseys. Only if the white jersey is totally unique in its design will I consider that. So yeah, a big thanks to NHLuniforms.com because they have a fantastic library of images and jersey designs, so that helps me in kind of procuring some of these images there. And if your name is Kale or you run a channel called VSP Hockey, you might want to look away and not watch this. All right, everybody, so without further ado, because I have 64 jerseys to talk about, let's go ahead and look at the nominees. So these are all the entries that are going to go into the subsequent videos in this series, all right? So first up, 1920 Hamilton Tigers. Just look at that logo and how it's placed in those vertical stripes. Yikes. And then we got the Kansas City Scouts at number 2. Not the worst jersey, but considering what the team did as the Colorado Rockies later, much better. Not to mention they became the New Jersey Devils. Number 3, we've got the Anaheim Ducks from 2006 when they switched from the Mighty Ducks, and this is what they came up with. Come on, boys. And then we got the current New Jersey Devils. Jersey, they don't really have ugly sweaters. I just don't care for the current design, so that's why that one's here. Then you got the Hurricanes recent road unis. These, come on, the verticals, come on, only the Rangers do that well. Then you got the 23 Hamilton Tigers. Just look at that. I couldn't find a real photo and I'm kind of glad I didn't. Then you got the 2014 Tampa Bay Lightning Bolts. Yeah. Then you have the lone Blackhawks jersey in this collection. So it was hard to find, one that I actually considered ugly. I'm not a fan of this jersey, but I can tell you right now, I don't think it's going to move on to any rounds subsequently. Then you got the 1995 Boston Pooh Bear Bruins. My goodness, this is the first time they put an actual bear on their jersey in decades. And yeah, that did not turn out so well. Then you got the 2013 Buffalo Sabres turd burger right there. It makes them look like they're wearing a cape. Then you got the 2002 Flyers. Again, the Flyers only have this jersey on the list. I just didn't like that logo, how they modified that. So that's why it's on here. The 2001 Vancouver Canucks with that just god-awful gradient and a color scheme that I am still questioning to this day. The 2008 Ottawa Senators with the Sens text. Just atrocious. And then you have the 99 Ottawa Senators. Not the worst jersey I've seen, but that logo, as the hockey guys called it, the Scooby-Doo logo, and the really weird band across it, I don't get that. Then you have the 1946 New York Rangers. It's so weird to see an arched logo like that. I couldn't really dig that, even though the Rangers don't have that many ugly unis anyway. Then you got the 08 Phoenix Coyotes with a very uninspiring full-bodied coyote there. I think the Coyotes have made some better alternates in the past, and we'll definitely talk about that. The 2002 New York Islanders, just a really awkward decision to have those angles cut in at the bottom there. I don't get that whatsoever. The 1995 Mighty Ducks of Anaheim Wild Wing. It's so ugly that a lot of people just want to collect that. Columbus Blue Jackets from the year 2000 inaugural season. Again, they don't have many jerseys to go by, so I don't find this particularly ugly, but I just do not like that stinger logo on the shoulder there. The 1967 Maple Leafs, not just because this jersey was a curse in a sense, but because I don't like that design of the leaf. That is my least favorite of their Maple Leaf designs. The 2003 Phoenix Coyotes, just a very bland looking jersey after we had the Kachina for a few years there. Then you had the 1945 Maple Leafs, which it doesn't look that ugly, but if you look at the blue jersey, the text in the middle is red, and that just does not look right. It looks like, it's the jersey's hungover or something like that, or just really, really stoned. 2007 Washington Capitals, which was kind of a throwback to their original jersey, but just really weird striping, and it doesn't have those stars or fun elements of the original there. Then you have the 1930 Detroit Falcons, who would become the Red Wings, so I consider that part of the same franchise. I just don't like that gold font. That just looks really off for me when you think about the Red Wings. And by the way, if you want to know what kind of jerseys I actually like, these are some of my favorites here, so that's a good comparison. Then we have the 2011 New York Islanders, just abomination there with the gray shoulders and the text on the front. The 2003 Dallas Stars, the infamous Mooterist jersey. The 2010 New York Rangers, which isn't a bad jersey by any means, but considering their previous alternate was the Statue of Liberty, this is so underwhelming right here. The 2000 Calgary Flames Flaming Horse, which I actually like, but first of all, I don't like the waist striping in it. And think about it this way, the Flames abandoned the Classic C in 2000 and actually used this as their home jersey for a few years, so that's why it is definitely on this list here. 1980 Los Angeles Kings, again, I don't think they were doing anything wrong in the years before with the classic striping, just the vertical striping, and I never liked the crown in the first place, so just elementally, not a fan of this. Then you have the 2019 Pittsburgh Penguins alternate, or 2018 alternate, I think technically. Just terrible striping there, and I think that the 2017 Stadium Series jerseys were a lot more interesting. Then you have the Winnipeg Jets. I don't think they have any ugly jerseys. I'm not a fan of this one, so that's why it's on this list. Just no shoulder logo. They don't use any of the silver or the red from the other jerseys that they wear, so that's why I'm not a fan of this one. Just a little bland for me. Same thing with the Oilers here, just this terrible use of the Oilers logo, just making it monochromatic there, and just two little dinky stripes on the sleeves there. I've never liked this one. Then you have the 07 Colorado Avalanche. 2007 is, in my opinion, you'll see on this list, it was the worst year for jerseys when they transitioned over to the original Reebok Edge jerseys. They got better over time, don't get me wrong, but terrible piping just on the side of the torso there. I never have really liked these colors in the first place. I don't really care for how outdated these logos look now. So yeah, and the numbering looks kind of weird too. So I have one other Avalanche jersey on here. I bet you can guess which one. 2001, the Todd McFarlane Edmonton Oilers. Imagine if Connor McDavid or Wayne Gretzky had to put this on. That just does not look like it belongs to the Oilers franchise whatsoever. Yeah, there's a Stadium Series jersey for the Avalanche right there. Just horrendous. I did not put the Kings one on here. It was close. It was just out of the cut. 2000 Nashville Predators mustard cap. One of the hardest jerseys to find out there if you're a collector. I never liked this from the start. Some of these jerseys I liked originally, but yeah, that was always hideous to me. The 2009 Florida Panthers, the powder blue. I don't like the logo. They did not do a nice job with that logo, and I usually like circle logos right there. So that's kind of one of my least favorites. And then the 07 Panthers with the terrible yellow piping, do not like that. And I don't think they had anything wrong before switching over to Reebok. 1995 Burger King, I'm sure you could guess that would be on there. As well as this next one, the 2008 Atlanta Thrashers. I mean, that one right there is going to make a case for like at least the Elite 8, I think. The 2007 Oilers, I don't mind their switch to the navy and copper. I think that it looked fine in the CCM era, but this with the piping and the lack of waist stripes, do not like it. Absolutely ugly. 2013 Carolina Hurricanes, the candy cane jersey. So I like their original Indo Edge jerseys, or the original Reebok Edge jerseys, because at least those had the interesting pattern on them. They had the shoulder logos. This is the candy cane. It's so boring. Then you have the Pittsburgh Pirates. I think it's from 1928. This jersey isn't terrible. I just don't like the color so much. I think it's a little nauseating. I think that, for jerseys from that era, this is among my least favorite. And I like their other jerseys as a franchise. They were never that great, but they certainly weren't this. The 2007 Blues, I just hated the shoulders there. Eventually they would correct that, but this is definitely among their ugliest. The 2007 Dallas Stars, just one of the most uninspiring jerseys of all time, especially when you have those dope shoulder logos, which made fantastic jerseys in the years before that. Then you have, similarly, the 1991 Minnesota North Stars before they moved to Dallas. It's not an ugly jersey by any means, but it's absolutely nothing compared to the beauty of that franchise through the decades before. Then the 2000 Washington Capitals. This one I'm sure will definitely earn some dislikes. I just never liked that bronze color. I think it's just atrocious, frankly. And the Screaming Eagle, I almost put that one on there. The idea is that I love the classic Capitals look, and just the transition out of that, and the Washington Wizards, and that, transition was terrible as well. I don't mind the design so much, but again, colors-wise, it's not great, and the numbers and the lettering, I just can't get behind those. Then we have the similar era. We have the 2000 Pittsburgh Penguins Vegas Gold alternate, which would eventually become their home uniform for many years. Sidney Crosby, of course, wearing it here. Yeah, just a very uninspiring shade of yellow. And I mean, come on, we got the champion Steelers, when you got the Pittsburgh Pirates. Like, why'd you have to deviate? It just looked so weird to me for many years there. Then we have the inaugural home unis of the Atlanta Thrashers. I thought the road unis, or the white unis, were much better. I like that design a lot more, and that logo. The logo here, I just never was a fan of it, and yeah, it's just hodgepodge. It's a bit of a mess. Then you have the 1926 New York Americans, and while I like other installments of their jerseys, this one I just don't like the way that the colors switch, immediately when you got to the sleeves there. So I was not a fan of that one. The 1974 California Seals, and some people will really hate me for this one. I love teal. I'm a Sharks fan, of course, but just the striping here on the top looks so weird, and I never was a fan of just the text Seals. I'll collect a Seals jersey at some point, but never was really a fan of this. It looks too Flint Tropics for me as well. Then we have the current Tampa Bay Lightning alternate jersey. To me, this does not look like an NHL jersey. It's just very uninspiring when you have blue to work with, or maybe like a shinier silver or something like that, and this is what you produce. This is not something you wear for a regulation game. The 1978 Vancouver Canucks. That's not a logo. This is just no. It's like a robe of sorts. I don't understand this whatsoever. I don't care if it's from the 70s. It is easily going to win a few rounds in this ranking. Then we have the 1985 St. Louis Blues, and while the Blues overall have a really solid history of jerseys, I can't stand that they relegated that beautiful blue note to the bottom there and then put in the Blues text. You don't need to do that on the front of the jersey. And then they added red to the outline too. So I was never a fan of the Blues having red in the first place. Yeah, the jerseys that they wore later on with the red at the bottom, I've kind of come to like those a little bit, but even so, I think this is kind of the worst example there. Then we have the 1996 New York Islanders, and I know I should have put the Fishermen in here, but here's the thing. They made a huge mistake in the first year, but then they tried to correct it by putting the classic Islanders logo with this otherworldly, terrible design. I mean, the Fisherman logo at least looks like it fits into that. This doesn't whatsoever. That's why 96 is on here and not 95. And I love the 95 jersey anyway, and I want to collect it. Then we have the 1996 Tampa Bay Lightning Storm jersey. This is insanely hideous, of course. And I like the original Lightning jersey. There it is up here. But the thing is that at least this is interesting. However, even though it's more interesting than anything else Tampa has worn since like 2011, I have to put it on this list because no player in their right mind would ever want to wear this for a game, so that's why it's on here. Then in 2006, it's a little sad for me to say this, but we have the Buffalo Slug, Now, when this came out, I actually liked this one, but now looking back on it and comparing it to the Goat Head is fierce. The colors are more intense there. This is a terrible attempt to return to form for Buffalo. Eventually, they're going back to something like this. I like that a hell of a lot more. So this logo here is why I have it on the list. 2011 Calgary Flames Heritage Classic. Now I know they were trying to pay tribute to a team that was originally in Calgary or Alberta, but this right here, this is called the Ronald McDonald. Yeah, there's a reason why I can't stand to look at this any longer, so let's look at the next jersey. 2007 San Jose Sharks. This is the only Sharks jersey on here, and as a Sharks fan, I never liked when the team switched over to this. They had such a classic look going for them, classic logo. The logo itself, the new one, has grown on me much more over the years, and I'm perfectly fine with it. I think it's great. But having all that orange in the collar and the numbers, that looked terrible to me. And to this day, I only have that. I have one instance of that jersey in my collection. The 2007 Minnesota Wild, I just never liked this shade of red at all. I don't think it fits the green. And yeah, the switch over to Reebok made it even worse. So that's why it's on here. The 1998 Peyote jersey for the Phoenix Coyotes. It's so ugly. It's such a vision quest. It's such an acid trip that I love this jersey, and I'm totally going to collect it. But goddamn, I cannot imagine being Jeremy Roenick or whoever else was on the team and being like, we're gonna wear these. Yeah, this is great. The Kachinas were extreme enough for the time, and you know, apparently people still like them. But this one right here, oh hell no. The 2008 Canadiens jersey, centennial jersey if you want to call it that. Yeah, this is just overkill, complete overkill, especially with the pants. So yeah, Cortana doesn't like it either. Yeah, this is just, ugh. Okay, yeah. The 2003 Anaheim Ducks alternate. This is kind of a sign of things to come for the franchise. Come on, this is the best you can do when you've got the Mighty Ducks logo. I just never liked this, and the eggplant with the black is so weird. And then we have, lastly, the Calgary Flames 2013 alternate. Again, relegating a beautiful logo, and yeah, the script font just does not do it for me when you have that logo in the first place, and a really weird neckline as well. So yeah, those are my 64 jerseys that are going to be in my countdown. So stay tuned for the rest of the series. Make sure you hit the red subscribe button and the notifications bell so you know when I'm uploading videos. I'm gonna need some time with this. I think that this series might kind of take up the next 2 weeks of my time. So stick with it. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this series. I want this to be interactive, so I want you to let me know, which jerseys you think are the ugliest, which ones you think would advance through the rounds. Make some predictions down below in the comments. Let me know which ones you think are gonna make it in the Final Four or the Elite Eight, and we'll have some fun with this series all the way through its completion. Alright guys, thanks so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you around for the rest of the series. This has been Nick with Twisted Wrister Hockey, and get ready to cringe with me.